Hello and welcome to another game of Star Ladder StarSeries. It is still Season 7, Day 23, Game 6 of 6. And with me is Nahaz, our statsman, the one that will provide you with all the inside information that you want to know. And of course with me also is Capitalist, my co-caster. Welcome back, and welcome back to this, well, not only very hyped match, but also apparently a match where a lot of emotions are being outed.
Yeah, some very, very high emotions would made for some entertaining between game
Yes.
reading for us on the sideline, at least. But either way, it seems all is forgiven and nobody's mad
I
at
think
each
one
other.
person
We're
is
all
still
okay.
mad.
Oh, I think so too. But we'll
We'll do it then.
but at the very least, we're trying to say that we're okay.
Yes.
Alliance and Quantic, though, the remake, the very questionable. Both teams thought that they had the lead. Alliance, I feel, did have the advantage up until the team fight that actually occurred, where they had a little bit of a mistake, they had a little bit of errors, and then they were actually in a very poor position. And Quantic, that's when the pause came out. That's when the DC fell out, and we had to remake from there. Up until that point, I felt that Alliance actually had an advantage, and I saw the two teams arguing about who had the advantage and what they felt. And it's not surprising that both teams felt like they had the advantage. It was just the individual team fight itself. I think Quantic had a huge advantage there, but in the late game, Alliance definitely had some stronger heroes. But either way, we're gonna have a complete remake because that could never be solved. We never could get a good non-corrupt save. So completely new draft and completely new first pick inside as well.
Yeah, Alliance playing with a standard now compared to, of course, last time. I have to say, Black did really well in the previous game. It wasn't really Black's fault that they ended up losing up against the team that they were up against, without trying to spoil anything, of course, even though I might have just done that. But yeah, I definitely think that Black is a decent stand-in. We're gonna see if it has any effect here. Quantic has secured themselves a Bed Rider already from the get-go. We have a Tree and Protector banned out. I mean, Quantic has been playing that very much today, actually. OD banned out as well. And Quantic went for the Abaddon as well as the IO ban out. So we're gonna see how Alliance is gonna counter the Bed Rider, and Naga Siren should not be a surprise. They go for Nature's Prophet this game rather than going for a Lone Druid. No surprise there either, because Lone Druid just needs a bit more ramp-up time than Nature's Prophet does, and we're gonna see if he can get ahead with that one, and if he can also get some farm on lane, perhaps, which apparently is the difference. I mean, like I mentioned it earlier today, the interview with Kuroki that was done by Epi. It was a very long one, but that's why I remember it, because he mentioned the difference between Aperu Bulldogs, Lone Druid, or Nature's Prophet, and other Nature's Prophets. Wow. Is that he actually gets farm on the lane while the rest is just trying to deny farm and then goes into the jungle and then farm, while Admiral Bulldog gets farm on the lane and then gets farm in the jungle and still, goes on from that point. So perhaps he can do that here too. We have a Visage picked up by Quantic, though. I think they're looking pretty solid with the heroes that they have picked up. Alliance definitely not looking unhappy with those as well. But we'll see which one comes out ahead. Thus far, I would say actually even ground.
Yeah, I love the fact that Alliance has banned out both the Tree and OD away from Quantic, which leaves some higher priority heroes left in the pool. All of those heroes we see in the first 4 picks have been banned sometimes in the first 2 banning phase. So we've got a lot of heroes that we don't normally get to see. Batrider and Visage for Quantic. A lot of some good ganking control there, and one of the best supports in the game right now. Being able to provide a lot of damage going into the mid game. That's going to be their focus. Meanwhile, Alliance, no surprise, with the Furion pickup and the Naga Siren ultimate that they have, we're going to see a little bit more Rat Dota. We're going to see a little bit more split pushing and staying away from these team fights. And when they do take the team fights, it's going to be led with a serious advantage provided by that Song of Siren.
Yeah, Quantic removes themselves the Weaver from the pool. Both of the teams, even though mostly Alliance, using a lot of time up to think about their draft right here. They only have 15 seconds left in their bonus time. That's it. That's all they get. And other than that, they have to be hoping that Quantic uses some of theirs so that they can think about some of their draft even more. But right now, they're banning out the Clockwork in the end, but they have to be so careful here about, like, they still have 3 picks to do. You can't use all your bonus time in that one ban phase. It's not worth it. And the Chen gets banned out by Quantic. I mean, if you're looking at Alliance, you still know that there is still indeed a hero needed for Aki. There's still an Enchantress in the pool if they want to go for that, and definitely works well together with the Naga Siren as well. Especially if you're thinking like Naga Siren probably wants to go together with the Gyrocopter, which by the way can be picked up because we only have got 2 bans for Quantic and they already banned out 2. Lifestealer, however, will be picked up. That's going to be Black's hero, and that means they were still missing a ranged support for Alliance because just a Lifestealer and a Naga Siren is not going to be enough.
Yep, we're going to see a little bit of Nake's Bomb potentially. We may see Storm Spirit, Quap, or Puck, one of those 3 picked up for Alliance. And Quantic is not going to be able to ban them all out. Meanwhile, I mean, they've got some good control already over the Lifestealer. Unfortunately, Visage doesn't do anything, but at least they have the Batrider ultimate to be able to set up. And I think they're just going to continue on their mid-game aggression, is what it looks like. Maybe we'll even see a potential aggro tribe, though that's likely versus a Lifestealer. Unlikely versus a Lifestealer. You don't really want to go up against that unless they try and pick up Gyrocopter, a hero who's on equal grounds when it comes to that pure aggression factor in tri-lanes. Otherwise, probably just going to stay away from that one and let Batrider farm in the jungle instead of offlaning.
Yep. We have got ourselves Quantic also taking some time to think about their draft. I think that's good for Alliance. I mean, that means that they don't really need to use their bonus time all that much. They have a lot of heroes still in the pool that are still working very well together with both Batrider and Visage. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Nyx Assassin here, which is of course still a support that you can see together with that Visage, and perhaps even, and it's one thing that I'm hoping for, Sand King, and then Mania Sand King. How long has it been since we've seen that one? Damn it! It's an Enchantress! Oh, I was really hopeful there for a second there. I thought we might be having that. Of course, one of his former signature heroes. One of the first heroes that I saw Mania on. That was before I got into competitive Dota. I watched his stream. And that was the hero that was most fun, that Mania was most fun to watch on. So, oh well. Unfortunately, not going to happen. We are going to see a Crystal Maiden, a ranged support as expected, and a Crystal Maiden and Lifestealer works very well together. You've got double disables with the Naga Siren there and the Frostbite. You've got double slows with an open wounds, which of course, even with the lesser range for the Lifestealer in early levels, you still have a Frostbite and then a Snare to walk up to the target and actually go for the open wounds. And then you've got, of course, the Nova as well. And then you've got potentially Prophet TPing, and this is a very good recipe for perhaps even going for an aggressive tri-lane. I'm more expecting it to be safe, especially with the Visage there and the Enchantress, so it can be pretty risky for Alliance to run that aggressive. But it's a very solid tri-lane nonetheless. And so far only needing now the mid lane, and there are so many mid heroes still in the pool that I don't think that Alliance is going to be having any issues with finding a good one that can either be up against a Batrider or anything else that Quantic still puts up against them. Of course, the first pick goes to Alliance for the last pick, so maybe Quantic can throw a curveball still in the end. But we'll find out. Lone Druid will be the last pick up here for Quantic, and we'll try to show Bulldog how it's done. We'll be their offlaner then, secure in the mid lane, probably for the Batrider, and that means that Alliance will probably look to ban out a carry for Quantic. And there are still a couple of carries in there. I mean, Alchemist, Gyrocopter, both still in there. Perhaps the Gyrocopter is nice. I mean, up against the Lifestealer with the cooldown, the slow, could work out.
Yeah, maybe. The ultimate would be the biggest thing for him. Also, his speed at which he farms would be able to rival Lifestealer, who we may see pick up a Hand of Midas. Mid still being left open, though, for both teams. Alliance is going to have to show their hand first, though. Quant being banned out by Quantic leaves Alliance an opportunity here if they want to be able to pick up the Queen of Pain. That's a good hero for the Lifestealer. Being able to jump inside with the blink, have a nice, neat little Nake's Bomb. Especially in some of these heroes like Enchantress, Visage, and Batrider, all relatively squishy heroes. If they're not careful, the burst damage from the Quap by itself is good enough to put them in danger. And having Lifestealer pop out with Infest, that damage alone is going to be able to put them over the edge. So, significant amount of burst coming out from Alliance in some of these team fights, and no surprise, they take up the Queen of Pain. Quantic now has to decide on their own hero. And, you know, there aren't much left. You can pick up something like a Storm Spirit to be able to kite around the Lifestealer and jump on the Nature's Prophet and the Queen of Pain, both heroes that are very susceptible to Storm Spirit when you do have an advantage. being able to especially stop the split push coming out from Nature's Prophet. That's one thing that they don't really have too much of right now. Neither one of the supports are going to be able to gank him very well. Lone Druid can address it by just farming it up, and the Batrider with a Blink Dagger can help, but you don't have a really strong, like, Clockwork type hero that really shuts down a Nature's Prophet split push. So maybe a Storm Spirit is something to keep in mind for them.
Definitely an option. Also something that Fada actually doesn't play that often, but I believe that when he does, it's still a pretty good hero for him. Would be whoever gets the Orchid first will win that mid lane. Batrider up against Queen of Pain, if that's gonna happen. I mean, that's a pretty decent lane for Batrider to be in. The turn rate, of course, that you... oh, Viper. Well, never mind me. Batrider will take on the off lane / jungle. Lone Druid safe lane. And Viper most likely in the mid lane up against the Queen of Pain. Interesting. Lack of disables is what I see right now for Quantic. They have to get lucky with entangles and lucky with or enchantress creeps and the last suits all they have. And the downside is, like, you know what you can do with little disables. That's all fine. But one of the things that is always something that is gonna happen if you're playing up against a Viper, he needs some support with the disable next to him, because otherwise he uses his Viper Strike and you think, oh my god, he's gonna kill me, but then you remember that one button that you can press to just get yourself out of there, aka teleport scroll, and you're gonna be fine. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna happen, how that's gonna work out. Of course, Viper is a pretty decent hero up against a Lifestealer because the Viper Strike does go through the rage, and at least you will be able to slow him down with it, which is kind of nice. Or at least you can't rage out of it, so that's going to be helping out Quantic a bit, but I'm not sure how he will do in terms of killing potential. You've got yourself already with the Naga Siren as well as with the Crystal Main, a lot of disable in just 2 of the supports of Quantic, or sorry, of Alliance, and then you also have got the Open Wound, you've got the Sprout, as well as the Scythe of Ice that's probably going to be up on Admiral Bulldog at some point, Scythe of Ice that might be up on S4 at some point. We'll see how they do. At least I think that this draft is going to be having a bit more potential for Alliance than their previous draft has, especially in terms of early game, because, I mean, their mid lane is not totally failing straight off the bat, which happened in the previous game, of course.
Yep, you're definitely right about the Viper being a good counter to Lifestealer, and he's also a decent laner versus the Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain being unable to harass, like, Viper out of lane. In fact, it's even better for S4, probably just to focus on CS. Because Shadow Strike actually returns most of the damage back to the Queen of Pain. You mix that with the poison attack coming out from Viper, and he's going to be able to actually do more damage than you attempt to harass him with. So, for the most part, focus on CS, maybe see a gank or 2 from the Naga Siren and the CM. Both of them are pretty good at being able to rotate into that middle lane and put down some harassment. Meanwhile, Quantic is going to have a slight advantage given the fact they do have a jungler on their side. The Batrider also being able to utilize the off lane for jungle as well. But it looks like we're actually having a really interesting strategy from Miguel. He fireflied off of the map and then came back in and got this little cubby in the trees. He'll be able to pick up some CS. And if they keep the static lane right in... I would say what? The experience range probably ends somewhere in there. Yeah. As long as they keep it in that area, he's going to be able to pick up most of that CS without them really being able to notice. So interesting strategy. We'll have to see if it actually pans out for them or not.
Yeah, so far Blacks thinks he's by himself. So that's so far so good, I guess. Let's see if he's indeed in experience range. No, he's not. That was the first creep dying and he doesn't get anything for it. Let's see the second creep. Soon.
No, he's not going to get any of this. No. That's really unfortunate.
He realized that now too. Now he comes back. Now he shows himself. Yeah, pings go out. Let's see who is playing what exactly. As of course, just introduce the players real quick. On the side of Quantic, we have got Fada taking on the mid lane. He'll play the Viper. On the top lane, it will be the Batrider, played by Miguel. You have the support duo Mania playing the Visage with Bucking Mad playing the Enchantress, and on the bottom lane is the last one. It is Soxka playing the Lone Druid on the bottom lane. And I'll leave Alliance to you.
Yeah, this is Alliance. Meanwhile, they've got S4 and the Queen of Pain, Ake, and the Crystal Maiden. One of his specialty heroes that, as the stat said earlier, was really instrumental in bringing her back into the meta. Admiral Bulldog and Nature's Prophet, EGM. Fantastic Naga Siren. And then we got Black on the Lifestealer. So hopefully that carry will fare a little bit better for Black than it did last game. But of course, last game really wasn't much of Black's fault. So
look at the harassment already done on S4. forced to blink away, and that Shadow Strike still giving harassment to that Queen of Pain, as we have got a smoke gank attempted, but Aki just runs right into it. He might actually fall for this. In comes a Frostbite, making sure the Hellburst Smasher can't slow Aki down, but he's still slowed by the Enchantress. Nature's Prophet attempting to TP in, perhaps something can help out, but that's going to be your first blood added to the board for Quantic. Mania takes down Aki's Crystal Maiden. Well, he was just trying to farm in the jungle.
And this is why they had Miguel. Instead of him going in, again, they're going to jump on Naga Siren, do a little bit of damage. They can't kill him. Naga Siren being very, very tanky. But either way, they do a little bit of damage. But this is why, apparently, they had Batrider attempting to sit in this lane and pick up some experience instead of jungling, which is much, much faster for Batrider. Is because they plan on doing this sort of roaming tri-lane, which is odd, but possibly effective versus the Lifestealer.
Yeah, works out. In the meantime, Lone Druid getting 6 last hits so far on this bottom lane. Shoxka sitting on 16, so Admiral Bulldog getting a bit of the short end of the stick here. He is, of course, still not up against a Lone Druid as level 5. He only has a half a level to go before he has the risk of getting entangled. And we'll see if he rotates into the jungle when that happens. As we have got indeed Mad and Mania rotating back into the Dire jungle. Really want to try and stop Aki from taking that farm. Crystal Maiden is able to jungle slightly with the Frostbite there. Oh, wow. The Frostbite at target, the 1 mana thing that Aki could throw out. It's not going to get it, gets it denied. And right now, well, I would suggest her to just go to the lane, because right now she's in a lot of danger of dying, I think. And by the way, Mouseport Fada, or at least Fada in this game, Quantic I guess, hasn't lost a game on Viper thus far, which is pretty neat. And actually, well,
wow, that's pretty impressive. His Viper is very aggressive, just like he should be. Trying to kick S4 out of lane as much as possible. Now that he's level 5, it's a big turnaround level for Viper. Smoke up. They're going to be able to pick Fada off unless he goes... Wow. Never mind.
You did it again! It's the second time today.
I did it
Keep
again.
track.
I know.
Well, the smoke up is still there. They're still going towards the rune, but they won't get it. Maybe they can do something bottom. I mean, with a roaming duo support like this, if you're gonna indeed smoke up and move towards the bottom lane, your enemy is not gonna expect it at all. But the upside for Bulldog is that he has got a complete vision there, even though right now, oh no, here they catch him still. In comes an ensnare, the slow is still there. In comes a bear as well, looking for entangles. Bulldog will probably go down there. Here comes the net. More entangles possibilities for that Lone Druid. Eats a tangle. God, is he gonna live through this? 22 HP. No, there he goes. Down he goes. Suxka with the kill. Half expecting bad manners to go through here, but they don't. And that means that we're still going to have a 2-0 score here as Fada gets away from the middle lane as EGM came in to try maybe make something happen. I mean, S4 is level 5 right now. He has a double damage rune. That would have been their chance. S4 sitting on 12-1 with Fada sitting on 24-11. So that's a big difference right there. And level-wise, it's even half of a level difference as well. We now have Viper sitting at level 6. Well, S4 is still level 5, and this might actually be a kill. Viper Strike comes out as well. S4 tries to run for it. Fada gets ensnared. Maybe S4 comes back in with a scream. He has not got a blink yet, though. And he's actually still ticking down from the harassment he gets from that corrosive skin.
He's actually going to die here.
Is he actually... corrosive skin? Is it...
Because he keeps going off every single tick. Oh my goodness!
3 health! Wow.
Every single tick of Shadow Poison reapplies corrosive skin, so when you put down a level 1 Shadow Strike, you're actually doing more damage to yourself.
Yep.
So the only reason you should ever use it is attempting for kills, never for harassment. So,
phew.
Wow.
Close.
Really, really close. Fada, once he hits level 5 though, he just absolutely dominates this lane, because that's the level where Poison Attack now has 0 cooldown, so again, every single attack is more poison on top of S4. He's controlling the lane well, but that was a really necessary gank from the Naga Siren. Even if they didn't get the gank, it just put some pressure on the Viper.
Yeah, and of course, while that gank happened, Batrider actually did die. Crystal Maiden was the one to pick up the last hit on the top lane. Miguel, still level 4, still doing okay-ish, considering he's not in the jungle in terms of levels. But he is really delaying his Blink Dagger by hanging around here. I actually would say, you know, jump into the jungle. And even though Matt is trying to farm there and is doing okay, but actually getting that Blink Dagger up on that Batrider is a pretty big deal, I think. Unless they feel like Fada can carry the mid game by himself well enough, even without a Blink Dagger. As S4, this time not going for a Shadow Strike, still gets a Viper Strike to send him on his way though. And I mean, there's still a self up on S4, but he just can't do anything right now. He has got a Sonic Wave. I wouldn't put it past him if he just, you know, decides to leave the lane and tries to get a kill somewhere, because up against Fada, he's just going to get harassed away every single time.
Yeah, this, both off lanes should be completely abandoning at this point. I'm not entirely sure why Miguel is. Because, like, we actually talked about this, like, 2 games ago, where you can run double junglers. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to gimp Enchantress farm maybe a little bit because she only has access to 1 hard camp, and she wants to be able to cherry pick her neutral creeps. If she doesn't get the right one in 1 hard camp, she can go to the other. But it's not that big of a deal. You're still able to farm up. Batrider only focuses on 2 camps anyway. Enchantress can grab the other 3. I really don't know why they're not focusing on that, but either way, they're going to be able to push in, take a tier 1 tower at bottom. Nothing that can really stop that against a Spirit Bear who's level 7. And also has the Enchantress helping out with these pushes as well.
Yeah, perhaps they're going to be
There's
able
no
to
way
get a
they can
deny in.
possibly
They
stop
might, nope, they're not even going to try. Or maybe Treants were trying, but we didn't really see it coming out in time. It's going to be Lone Druid giving himself more farm. I mean, he's on the safe lane, the kind of Lone Druid that, of course, is going to be the most scary one. He is farming very well. He's highest in terms of last hits, and he got himself a kill and a last hit on the tower. Highest on net worth by 400 gold difference compared to the Lifestealer who is sitting on the bottom lane, who of course got himself an assist, which is nice and all. But no last hit on the kill, no last hit on the tower, as the fortification actually comes out here for the top lane, and in comes TPs. Fada comes out first, wants to go for EGM, TPs himself out, Black same story, and that's exactly the thing that you can do against this. Because the only thing they could do against it is maybe Lasso, but Miguel's not level 6 yet, or Familiar Disables, but, well, Visage are not level 6 yet, so they don't actually have any Disables whatsoever. And no Lone Druid for getting lucky with Entangle, so good escape. Wasted teleports. Or, yeah, well,
yeah, again,
in a way.
the lack of Disables on Quantic is going to hurt them quite a bit. But hopefully they can make it up in just sheer mid-game team fight. That's going to be their main focus, as well as Lone Druid being able to offer a lot of split push. Again, he's actually harassing Bulldog. Now going to melee for him. If he gets the right entangles here, he should be able to actually pop Bulldog.
One more hit.
Like he'll be able to do so.
Boom. He's dead. Solo kill. 1 entangle is all you need. Admiral Bulldog's bear working against him right now. In comes an ensnare though, but Maniac coming out makes sure that Aki gets slowed. And maybe they can actually go for this. If this bear gets an entangle upon the Crystal Main, that might be the one thing that they need to get a kill. Nice Nova trying to slow him down. EGM is going to be the target instead. Gets a snare. The stun from the Centaur misses. Looking for entangle. Still the bear is mighty fast, but in comes a Frostbite. Aki saving his teammate and running towards the sanctuary of the tier 2 tower. And it is enough. A lot of rotations coming out here, by the way. 4 people coming in to try and do something here against the 2 supports of Alliance, and that overall is actually a bit of a win for Alliance. Wasting time for everybody on the side of Quantic apart from Fada. They get themselves a tier 1 tower. Fada of course still gets himself some farm, but well, in the end I think that's a worthy time spent for the 2 supports of Alliance indeed.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking those towers, really, really important to be able to secure that tower lead, especially when you're going up against a Lone Druid. But meanwhile, it's going to be, it's only 10.5 minutes in, I suppose, but in the next 5 to 10 minutes, Quantic is really going to need to start rotating heavily with their 4 heroes. Just let Lone Druid continue to split push as much as possible, but the Viper should be enough in the mid game to be able to win a lot of team fights. But the biggest problem is whether or not they can actually get onto Alliance and actually get kills, because as you notice, the TP scrolls, it's very, very easy for them to be able to get away from a lot of this action. Middle, gonna get ganked, EGM's gonna lead with the ensnare.
Yeah, in comes S4 as well, blinking with the scream. Nature's Prophet TPing and they really want to kill off Fada, well they do so. And actually, open wounds up on Mad. He already uses Nature's Attendance, he tries to run, in comes a Nova, slowing him down. That's gonna be 1 extra kill for Bulldog, double kill for him, and now a tier 1 tower taken as well. 5 heroes of Alliance helping out to take these kills, and it's they that come with the, well, first real 5-man push rather than Quantic rotating with their Viper in the end, and that's gonna cost them. That's gonna cost them a tier 1 tower. We still of course have Lone Druid split pushing. It's not the end of the world for Quantic, but they do lose some extra map control with losing that tier 1 tower.
Yeah, that was a pretty substantial hit, because really those 3 other heroes, Lone Druid was the only one who was really achieving anything. The Batrider and the Visage were just kind of wandering the map. not really doing anything for the team. So, a bit problematic, a lot of lost time for Quantic that they need to be able to make up somehow. And Viper's going to go top. He looks like he's working straight towards that Aghanims, already has that point booster. Aghanims being able to be picked up is really important, especially versus a lifestealer. It allows you to pretty much permanently slow him with your Viper Strike just because the cooldown is so low. And also be able to focus on multiple targets as well. So that's going to be a big part of these team fights. Late game, Quantic does have some decent late game in the Lone Druid, but Viper drops off pretty heavily. Bat Rider can still help out as well as the Enchantress. So they do have decent late game, but going up against a Lifestealer, a Nature's Prophet, and a Queen of Pain, that's really just too much mobility to lock anybody down. I feel like Alliance is going to be able to just outmaneuver Quantic if this game pushes on too late. So they really need to be able to dominate the mid game. The 20 to 25 minute mark is where they need to pick up a lot of their kills and push in a lot of these towers. But in the meantime, it looks like they're just going to continue to farm. Bat Rider's still working towards that Blink Dagger. Another 500 till Miguel has that one.
Yeah, and he's taking some farm here on the top lane. Well, uncontested as well. I mean, Lifestealer is around there, but he's actually in the jungle. Black, sitting on 3 assists. No kills for himself just yet. Has got drums, has got phase, and goes for his omelet. And it looks like a fairly early aggression build coming off here from Black with, of course, the phase and the drums. I wouldn't put it past Alliance to go for another push, this time on the bottom lane. And at the same time, of course, getting a gank up on Soxka, because right now, this Lone Druid is a pretty scary sight. I mean, he's got his hand of Midas, he's sitting on 2k gold, and he is working towards his Radiance real fast. They kind of need to shut him down, and I think they know that too. That's why they smoke up. Of course, Nature's Prophet actually is working his way towards Black, who's going to infest probably in Bulldog, and they're going to have 5 heroes bottom. Probably their goal here if they can make it happen. They find Mad first, and in they come. Mad will get taken down by just 3 heroes by themselves. We still have Black sitting in Admiral Bulldog. They will still try to go bottom, and even though they now kind of, you know, announced their coming, it might still be enough. They still want to try and force out a fight.
Bomb.
Viper actually, yeah, looking for teleport in. Actually, no, there they come. Going for Mania first. He's already dead. Sonic Wave up on Lone Druid. Was able to at least deny a bit of the damage by switching, but it doesn't matter. Too many heroes here, and down he goes. Frostbite interrupting the teleport. Lone Druid drops, and indeed 5 heroes is the push. And Alliance securing themselves another tier 1 tower. That's the 3rd one dead on the side of Quantic, while there's only 2 tier 1 towers still standing for Alliance themselves. Of course, the tower bottom already taken down by Soxka. But with this early aggression from Alliance, they're actually having a good shot at, well, shutting Quantic down before it can get too far, before that Viper can actually get his Aghanims ready. He now does have treads for that extra attack speed, but I'm not sure if it's going to be enough.
Yeah, honestly, I feel that Quantic is being a little bit too passive and letting Alliance just run all over them. Alliance does have some really good ganking squad. They can't afford to get caught out. They need to group up a little bit more. Now that they have the Bat Rider with the Blink and also the Medallion up on the Visage, maybe we'll see that happen.
Yeah, a lot of harassment coming out here bottom. We still have Fada pushing top, so it would be 4 on 5 if it does turn into a fight. There is, however, a blink on Miguel, and he blinks forward. He grabs his forward, in comes the song. In comes Fada as well, teleporting into a song, and it looks like actually Alliance is setting up for this. In comes a scream. It is gonna be S4 that's still the target first. Blinks himself into the tree. Matt still goes down. Black able to get a double kill already. Can they get something more? Sharkska trying to run for it. EGM, one more hit away from dying. There he goes, but triple kill for Black. Looking for an ultra kill and finds it. Now Fada, last one here. He can actually slow down Black real easily, but the rage is there. Nature's Prophet there as well, and they want to go for Fada. Open moves there as well as Nature's Prophet. Oh, it's a rampage for Black. He does it, and that is gonna be a complete team wipe. Alliance still losing a lot. Look at the HP bars, the hell. Everybody makes it out in the end, or at least most of them, apart from the supports. But oh my god, that fight. Black with the rampage. Well, if you're standing in for a team and you get yourself a rampage, I think you're gonna feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. That was just the biggest problem with Alliance's draft. And going up against Quantic is the fact that Quantic is lacking a lot of disables, so it allows heroes like Queen of Pain to play really, really aggressive and then blink away at the last second. It's why we saw so many of these heroes, even some of the supports that did go down for Alliance, the CM especially, she was just about to teleport away when she went down. So that just comes back to her being a little bit too squishy to be able to deal with the damage coming out from Viper fast enough. She just couldn't teleport away quick enough. But that's going to change over time. And the mobility of Alliance just allows them to kind of toy with Quantic in these team fights. They get real low, but there's no lockdown to finish the job, and they just get out. They blink themselves away. They teleport out. Nature's Prophet was another target for Viper that he just couldn't finish off because Bulldog started channeling teleportation. That's all it took for Viper to actually change targets. Bulldog didn't even necessarily have to TP away. He just started channeling it and could have stopped immediately.
Yeah, Aki just went for a freezing field while Enchantress actually died to a neutral. What the hell? In comes the Sonic Wave. They take down the Bad Rider as they blink themselves back out again. That was indeed an infested Lifestealer inside S4, I would believe. But, I mean, Enchantress was frostbitten, and the freezing field from Aki wouldn't get the kill. It was the neutrals that actually got the kill in the end. Kind of unfortunate, but still Enchantress dead is enough to at least set back Quantic slightly again, as they also take down the Bad Rider again. Of course, slowing down his Force Staff is going to be a good tool as well, and actually buys Alliance time to go for the Roshan. And that's going to be a good one for them.
Perfect. That's going to put Black sitting almost about 10,000 net worth in 20 minutes. That's really impressive. When he has his Desolator, he's going to be able to just tear up any hero that he gets across. Even the Lone Druid, who is supposed to be this big tanky beast that is able to survive through. It doesn't matter. Lifestealer is going to be able to take that opportunity to do a lot of feast damage as well as some heavy physical damage now with the Deso he's about to pick up. So all around, Alliance has this game pretty well in control, sitting about a 7,500 gold lead and 6,000 experience lead. They are very, very comfortably sitting in the driver's seat.
Yeah, in the meantime, we have indeed the Shadow Blade up. It's looking comfortable indeed for Alliance, and for Quantic, they need to make something happen. They need to create more space for their Lone Druid to farm, because if he shows himself right now, that's exactly where Alliance is going to try to push in, aka right now he shows himself top, and hey, look at that! In comes EGM, Aki and S4, of course they were already standing there, but I mean, they're not going to allow Shockguard to continue to farm, so it's a lot of pressure on that Bad Rider and on Fada's Viper to really try to do something there. The Orchid comes out, Lone Druid, TP's coming in to try and help him out, but it might have been already too late. In comes a Viper Strike, already up on EGM, but Fada gets picked up as well. That's another kill added to the board for Alliance. 2 core heroes picked off just like that, and the only core that's left alive is actually Miguel, who was still smoked up, who was too slow to come and help towards the top tier 2 tower, who just went down, which just went down, and that's going to be a tier 3 under siege. Maybe trying to force out a buyback. Lone Druid can buy back. Fada, however, cannot buy back, and actually they go on mad. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. Black gets himself another kill, goes for Mania. Mania dead as well, and that's going to be that's going to be GG. 19 minutes in. Quantic taps out. A victory Sonic Wave coming out from S4, and that's going to be Alliance adding themselves a win to the board. Quantic not getting 4 wins in a row in one day, only getting 3 and getting denied the 4th. Alliance looking pretty strong. Pretty strong indeed. And I think Fada first lost on Viper.
Yep, that's really impressive play by Alliance, very convincingly shutting down Quantic in their what was originally a very, very close remake. So I know at least one player is going to be probably pretty pissed about that, but still, Alliance moves on after a little bit of an upset earlier today. They still showed that they're a strong team. Take down this Quantic Mouse flip side.
That's all. Yeah.
Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, just those 3. Still some contract issues, I've been told, but should be resolved fairly soon, actually. But yeah, I have to say it was not as good of a game as last Tuesday. It just wasn't.
No.
But it was still a pretty strong game for Alliance. Quantic just never got their footing in. I think they actually looked pretty solid at the start, but once Alliance started making their moves, there was just no coming back from Quantic, and especially not after Black's Rampage. It was just very tough to still deal with that. I mean, look at that. Lifestealer sitting on 707. And actually, even though S4 had a really tough mid lane, he never actually died in the game at all.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Indeed it is. Any shoutouts and plugins for you if you want to do some of those?
Just normal Twitter at Dota Capitalist, Twitch TV, Dota Capitalist as well, where you'll see me doing pubs, NEL, and sometimes playing in the Shiver stack.
Yeah, the Seaver stack of doom.
That's about it.
Okay, well, then, of course, for everybody watching, thank you for watching. And, of course, thank you for watching here, because I know there's other options, but it's very much appreciated that you are my peanuts. I'm sorry for people that don't understand that pun, but there you are. And, sugar-coated peanuts, though, don't worry about that. You're sweet and all. And, yeah, but don't forget to press the follow button, because apparently follow buttons on Twitch actually does something. So follow me. Make sure you make my channel more important than it is right now. For example, to, at some point, perhaps, give me an option to run rebroadcast, because at the moment I'm not allowed to, because I'm not high priority enough or something like that. So give me a follow so that I can get maybe some rebroadcast at some point, one way or another. Anyways, thank you for watching. Make sure you tune in, or stick tuning in, or open an L tab if you want to watch a different game, because I believe there might still be some MLG going on. But open a different tab for that so you can still watch commercials, because that helps us a lot, actually. So do that, and we'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow, by the way, we're gonna have ourselves another bunch of games. 6 games in total, starting off with Na'Vi versus Poseidon, Menace versus Alliance, Ubos versus 4FC, Empire versus Power Rangers, Na'Vi, Rattlesnake International, and Fnatic Na'Vi. Good games! And games that you definitely want to watch. Again, 6 games in a row. Indeed, a long day of Dota, but it's going to be worth it. It's, of course, going to be the last week of group stages that we're going to come into. So there's actually only one day this week that is going to have only 4 games, which is the norm normally for StarLadder, which is on Friday. But we have a lot of games still in there. And as you might know, that Alliance and Na'Vi still need to play a lot of games to get to their 15 games played. So there is not a day in this week that Alliance or Na'Vi won't play. Every single day there's going to be either Alliance or Na'Vi or both. So definitely some good games coming up. Make sure you tune back in 1700 tomorrow CEST time. Tune back in then. Until then, have a great night or day or morning, whatever, and we'll be back at some other point or something.